You're from Zone 3.
Mm-hmm.
When someone listens to music, especially from Atlanta rappers, it's very common for one to hear zone this, zone that.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain what these zones mean when people hear these type of lyrics or shout outs?
The zones is just really what area you grew up in. Like you got, okay, zone 1 is the west side. That's like Simpson, The Bluff, Etheridge, all that stuff over there on the west side. Like that's the west. Then you got zone 3. I don't know what zone 2 is. You got zone 3 is where I'm from. That's like Lakewood, Cleveland Avenue, John Burr Road, John Burr South, Brownsville, Polar Rock, Summer Hill, Oakland City. No, Oakland City zone 4. Zone 3, all this stuff over here. Zone 4 is close to zone 1. That's Oakland City, the West End, all this over here. Zone 6, I don't know too much about zone 6, but I just know that's Decatur. I don't know what zone 2 or zone 5 is. I never heard of zone 5. I know zone 1, zone 3, and zone 4.
Now, when it comes to the different zones, can you tell the difference between what zone a person is from? Is there a way to, by the way they talk or the way they dress, is that even possible at this point or no?
I mean, you really can't, but folks from the west side, you could tell folks from the west side, like, they just be kind of different. So.
Any hint at the difference there, or?
I mean, okay, from the people on the west side, like, it's a lot of people live on the west side, you feel me? It's a whole lot of people stay over there. So when you got a whole lot of people that stay in the hood that's like don't got no money or whatever, everybody be on like some real savage stuff. You feel what I'm saying? So they look like that. You feel what I'm saying? So that's, you could tell when folks be from the west side. Like if you see a girl come from Atlanta and she look toe up, people gonna automatically think she from the west side. Like so. It is.
Have you ever been wrong? Have you ever been mistaken? Like, oh, I thought she was from the west side, but she's not. She's from.
I mean, cause east side girls be like put together. You feel what I'm saying? And then where I'm from is like a mixture. Like someone be put together, then someone be toe up, and then someone be like a mixture. You feel me? But the east side, like, okay, they all right. The west side, they all the way gone. Zone 3, they like in the middle. So.
Now, when it comes to the different zones, okay, I know different cities, different states, some are more territorial than others. Is that the same with the zones in Atlanta at this point? Is it territorial between the zones? Do one person from a different zone beef with one another, for example? Does stuff like that happen?
It be, people, Atlanta beef anyway. So it's like, it ain't even about zones. Like people in the whole zone want to be beefing with each other. Like, and they be right up the street from each other. Then you got the whole zone 3, like you got this hood, don't like this hood, but they all from the same, you know what I'm saying, the area, but they don't like each other. Like, so it ain't even about zones, it's just people don't get along. Like if you from this hood, you from this hood, and y'all arguing, it's automatic beef between these two hoods. You feel what I'm saying? So it ain't about the zones, it's really about where you from.
What was it like growing up in your zone?
It was fun to me. It was real fun. We used to fight a lot, but we used to have a lot of fun.
You personally fought?
A lot.
You were the aggressor in these fights? You were defending yourself in these fights?
Nah, I used to talk a lot of junk, so like I used to fight a whole lot. And me and my sisters, my friends, all of us, we just used to fight like all the time. All the time we used to fight.
Win some, lose some?
We used to win.
From fighting, has it ever gotten that bad for you, though?
What you mean?
Has something ever, when it comes to fight, I mean, some fights can be more physical than others. Some can be.
When I was like 12 years old, I got into a real bad fight with these. We had got into like a real group fight, and it was like a whole bunch of grown ladies and men, and then it was like me and my sister, like we were young. And then the grown lady had ended up knocking me out, and my eye was like closed. That was like the worst fight, but I won.
Was this before people would pull out their phones and record stuff like this, or is there footage of this somewhere?
Nah, like the phones we used to have was very small, so wasn't nobody recording fights back then, really.
Who taught you how to fight? How'd you learn?
Let me see. I my first fight that I had got into, I was like 11 years old. I got to fight with this big old girl in 6th grade. And I had beat her up, and that's when I found out I knew how to fight. And then my big sister, she knew how to fight real good, and she used to always fight me, so I used to always have to fight her back. So
some practice there.
yeah.
Have you ever tried boxing, like in real life?
I had went to boxing for like I probably say a month, but that was too much. Like he was working us to death, so I had to stop going.
Little different there.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned there's a lot of fighting for you in your zone when you were growing up. Have things changed today? Do you think girls back then, I mean, girls now your age back then, are they still fighting these days like how you were back then? Or?
Everybody like that I grew up with that's like older now, like when you get to a certain age, like you're not fighting no more because it's different consequences. Like when you young and you fight, if the police come, you're not gonna go to jail. But if you get grown and like if I go up and fight somebody right now and the police come, I'm going to jail. Like I'm not finna just go home to my mama. Like so people ain't doing that now because it's consequences. Like and plus people got stuff to live for now. Like you got reasons not to do stuff. You got stuff to lose. Like you ain't just finna be out here just doing like little hood rat stuff.
No, but what I'm saying is, do you think girls now, what would have been your age back then, are your age now? Do you think girls are fighting just as much in today's times in Zone 3, or no? Do you think fighting is different? You mean
girls that's like 14 to 15 now?
Yeah, that you were back then, whatever age that was when you were fighting. Do you think those same age women now, or girls I should say, do you think they're as aggressive with the fighting these days in Zone 3?
I don't know. People ain't gonna never stop fighting, so I don't know. I don't be around kids, so I couldn't tell you if they still be fighting or not.